everyone, and welcome to Lattes on My Mind.
I'm Hannah.
And I'm Felina. What are we talking about today?
We're going to be talking about Easter and some of the origins.
Ooh, so grab your lattes and join us for the journey.
Listen here, guys. Listen here. We just laughed for 5 minutes straight before we could start this episode.
I almost had it started like right before the one we actually are using. But yeah, I almost had it started. And then I started laughing. You could tell I was holding it back.
It sounded like you were smiling real big. So if it sounds like we're smiling in that intro,
it's because we're trying to hold it together.
We literally just got tickled, and it wasn't even like that funny. But then we could not stop laughing.
I went to do the intro, and then I said, "Good morning, everybody," and I was like, "No way!"
We were like, "Where did that come from?"
I don't know,
because currently it's 4:23 p.m.
It's not even morning.
No.
It's not even in the morning.
And we don't know when you guys listen to this. Some people in the morning, some people at night, but it was so funny.
Yeah. Because what happened was when we went to start to say it again, we would think about it and then we'd start laughing.
And we would switch back and forth.
And it would be like, I would start laughing once and then be like, okay, I got this. And then Hannah would start laughing and then I would in fact not got that. And so.
Right. It's like when you're in church and you're not supposed to laugh. It's because of that. Like you're not supposed to be laughing because you got to pull yourself together and it just makes it that much funnier.
It does.
I'm sorry. Like I had so many instances like that where I was burying my face in church. It's probably very bad, but
it happens.
I
remember vividly one time I had a friend with me and it was like the communion and it was like the plastic one.
Yeah, like
it literally looks and feels like plastic. It feels like styrofoam.
The bread?
It's not bread. It's like a little
but it's like
cracker.
A cracker. Yeah.
And it's like styrofoam.
It's a little square?
It was round.
Oh, it's the wafer. Yeah.
And it literally feels like you're eating styrofoam.
No, for sure.
And so we we were taking communion, we got it, and we were like, gosh, it's like it feels like we're tasting styrofoam or whatever. And then this kid in front of us got his, and he goes, "This tastes like plastic." And then we started cracking up, but trying to keep it down. It was funny.
No, I would be like,
we lost it.
Yeah, it's always the times when you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Speaking of church.
It does happen. Speaking of church.
We are in Easter mode.
It's Easter season.
Yes, and you guys already celebrated Easter, so this is a little late. But that's okay. Because we're going to
better late than never,
yeah.
as they always say.
We always need a good review of why we do things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why?
We were like, where do our Easter traditions come from?
Yeah. So I got some for you, and some of it was very confusing. And words and names were confusing.
Oh,
but,
cute. When are they not?
When are they not? But, I can tell it's becoming spring. Technically, it is already spring. Because I think it was March something.
I think you're right. I think it is already spring.
Because we'll talk about that a little bit. But I can already tell because there are bunnies out. And my dogs freak out when they see bunnies.
I've not seen a single bunny.
You haven't? I've seen like 4. And my dog's Sky loves the bunnies. I mean, I think she wants to get them. But
she wants to eat them.
She perks up and she's like, just all of a sudden, she'll do that with squirrels too, but bunnies especially. She's like, oh my gosh, she's obsessed with them.
Because bunnies are only here part of the year. Squirrels are here year round.
And I forgot that this happened last season, but I forgot that she really wants to eat bees.
Oh.
And it's very, I'm like, listen.
You know what that sounds like to me? It sounds like you need to let her eat one and the consequences of your own actions. I mean.
Well, she snaps at them and I'm like, oh my gosh. And sometimes she'll go to smell them. I'm like, no. But sometimes I can't stop her. So one time she is going to get one and she's going to regret it. There are going to be regrets.
And you know what? Let it.
Yeah.
Let her.
Let it happen. Because I can't imagine if she swells up, I will.
The poor baby.
I will give her some Benadryl. But.
Yeah.
Because I have to give my other dog Benadryl because he's a scratching.
He's a little scratchy
He's a little scratchy boy.
We have to get Darcy shots because she's allergic to chicken.
Yeah. Hers isn't like...
What did she eat all of her entire life before we found that out?
Oh, let me guess. Chicken?
Chicken.
Well, because that's naturally what you go for dogs.
Well, it's also cheaper.
Yeah.
So...
Sky is on a urinary tract food. That's a prescription food.
Yeah.
So you have to give PetSmart the card that she has to get for them to give it to you because it's a prescription. I'm like, oh my gosh, of course. But she's doing a lot better besides trying to eat the bees and stuff.
Yeah.
And speaking of bees, we're in spring.
Whoa.
We're in spring.
Segue.
I tried to segue twice. Just like we tried to do the intro 5 times. 10 times.
I'm not even
know.
like, we tried so many.
It was
bad.
It was rough.
Yeah.
But Easter. Okay. So Easter celebrated around the spring equinox. Okay.
Cool.
You know what that is? Sure. Essentially, it's
actually I don't.
Well, dang it. I'm gonna have to. It's so like when it's like the longest. I get them confused because there's the spring equinox, and then I think it's called like the vernal equinox. It's in the fall. So there's like one in the spring, one in the fall, and it's essentially like when it's the same amount.
The seasons switch.
Kinda, yeah, but it's like the same amount of light and the same amount of dark in like one day or something like that. Oh. I think I might be wrong about that because I didn't like write that down because I was like, I looked it up at one point, but like, it's
if you're smart and you know, let us know.
Yeah, if you know the actual technical definition, then go ahead and tell me. But most of the time, people in ancient times, they would celebrate these milestones because it was like you're switching from the darkness of winter to like the light, you know,
and you're switching from the light to the dark.
Right, exactly. So lots of times these things were like a big deal and they would have festivals, etc. So it's considered a pagan holiday because you're celebrating like the spring, and lots of times it would be like the goddesses of spring and such like that.
Right.
So pagan and Christian traditions have mixed over the span of like many, many, many years for this holiday.
Yeah.
As we talked about, I think in Halloween. In Halloween too.
I think.
Do we do a Christmas one?
Well, we did a holiday tradition.
Okay, we did a holiday traditions, but
and we
didn't
just
like
talked about like our holiday traditions and stuff.
But it's kind of the same thing for Christmas too. You know, it's been very much like influenced because Christians would take maybe like what was going on at that time in the celebrations and then make it their own. So that's kind of what we have going on over here. So many of the carryover icons we see today, like the way we celebrate Easter, are like before Christian aspects of Easter. Because if you think about it, official Christianity didn't start until after Jesus. Okay, so you have celebrations of spring and things going on way before that. Okay, so like I said, many of the spring goddesses, whoa, my voice is like going out.
It's because we were laughing for so long. I'm not kidding. We were laughing for 5 minutes straight.
I know. Yes.
And we could not get a grip.
And we went on so many like soapboxes in the last episode. So.
We did go on a lot of soapboxes because it was disgusting.
If you haven't listened to our previous episode, it's about a cult. So
it's about a fundamentalist group that involves incest. So
yes,
gross.
So we got on a lot of tangents. But anyway, so now of course, I feel like that it should just come, like any of Hannah's episodes should just come with a disclaimer for being like, there are so many different stories. And they say maybe and maybe not, this came from this or this came from this. So
right.
Once again, they think it's possibly taken the name Easter from this goddess. Her name was Eostre or Eastre. That's how you spell it.
Eastre.
So it's practically like almost Easter.
It's Easter. It's Easter spelled R-E instead of E-R.
It's a fancy Easter.
It's like the theater.
Yes, it's a Easter. Easter. It could be.
Wow, we just peaked. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that was probably so loud in your guys' ears. But it's an Old English / Old German word. It also, there's Ostern in German, which could be another Ostern, which could be Easter.
Ostern, like
Ostern.
A-U?
It's O-S.
O-S.
Ostern?
Ostern.
I guess that's like one of the variations. I don't know if it's of her name, right. But there's also a Scandinavian Ostra. So they have like several like, okay, it could come from this word. It could come from this word. And Eostre, and she was an Anglo-Saxon spring goddess. So German, English, like what we talked about.
Yeah.
But the only like real writing they have about her is from this guy named Bede, the monk.
Dabidi or Beatty?
Beatty. Dabidi.
Dabidi. I thought you said Dabidi.
Beatty the monk.
Beatty the monk.
He wrote like historical, like he was a monk, but he wrote down like historical.
He was a scribe.
Yeah, he was a scribe. What one might say.
A historical scribe.
But he lived like in the 700s or something. So he's like, he said, these people that are, I guess, in England at the time, it's from an Old English word, Eostermanoth.
Say that 5 times fast.
It's really hard to say. and it's obviously named after the goddess that we just mentioned. But I think they referred to it April as Yastremanoth. So it's like her month, like Yastre's. I don't know if it translates to that, but I'm assuming.
Yastremanoth? What?
Can you say that? Yastremanoth?
Yastremanoth.
Yastremanoth.
Easter month.
Right. It sounds like Easter month, essentially. Yeah. But so he says, they called it this. I guess it was like one of the spring months, could have been April. So, and that was named after the goddess. So they just took that and like made it into their Easter. And so they just kept the name. Right.
Easter month to April.
Right. Well, April is probably like a Roman derivative or something. And this is like an old English word. And so we just took I don't know. I think there was another word. I didn't want to, I'm not what is the word for that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm not a linguist.
Oh.
Person who knows the roots of words and things.
You're not a what? I don't know.
I almost said an entomologist, which is not.
I know, you started to say, what's the word for that? I said, I don't know.
I'm not a linguist, but they have varying like explanations for where the word Easter even came from. Okay. But English speaking countries adopted this name. Okay.
Okay, cool.
So they turned that into Easter. However, many other cultures, kept the word, like took variations of Passover, because if you know from the Bible, Passover happens leading up to Jesus's death.
Yeah.
So, and Passover, for those of you who don't maybe know, is like the Israelites celebrate when they were in Egypt and then God like rescued them and all this thing from the Egyptians, and so they celebrate Passover. So that's what Jesus was celebrating before he is put to death, that sort of thing. So many other countries take the word Passover instead and name it like in French it's like Pax. That's a better. Yes. Paquess. Swedish is Pask. Greek Pascha. So a lot of them are like Easter. What's that? They call it some like
I like Passover. Wait, pause. I like how you turned it to me to do the French when I have not taken a single French lesson in my entire life. I know Spanish. I got you on Spanish.
I got scared. Okay, I don't speak French. The French words.
Wait, let me see it again.
The French words scare me.
Wait, where'd it go?
Sorry, it's right here. It's like Jacques, so it's probably Pac.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah. I was like, well, I know there's other French words.
Yeah.
Jacques
looks like Jacques. Sorry, I feel like we always get off on these pronunciations.
If you know how to pronounce it, again, help a sister out.
Because we only speak American English.
Wait, how do you spell it?
P-A-Q.
How to pronounce P-A-Q-U-E-S?
Yes.
That's not the word. There's the word. No, that's not the word.
Maybe
there's the word.
Is it actually the Easter? Like, is it actually?
Pâques.
I was like, what is happening?
It's a full sentence.
Pâques. Is it saying something about celebrating Easter? Like, is it still
I don't know. It's all French.
He's fancy. Wow.
Yeah, so it's Pâques.
I like that. We should call Easter Pâques.
Pâques. Happy Pâques.
Happy Pâques. I like that so much more than Easter.
It sounds like Bach.
It does.
Like Happy Bach Day.
Yeah.
Me and Bach. No, like as in like Bach.
Yeah, like a chicken. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like a little chick, which goes with the Easter theme.
Happy Pâques.
We're gonna say that.
Why do we say it like seagulls? Happy Pâques.
You have to. Okay, I'm so sorry. So Easter can range, as we know, from March 22nd to April 25th. And you may ask, why is this? Because it's so annoying.
Yeah. Why is some years my mom's birthday's on Easter, some years it's not?
Right, exactly. So, because Easter is recognized in accordance with the Sunday after, I think, the first full moon that appears after the spring equinox. So, as maybe all of you know, I don't know, every year that changes slightly because the days change. So it's so confusing, but like the sun is going to be highest on a different day, like in a few years, So it's like, so the spring
Isn't it like because we're on the wrong calendar?
Right. Because Passover was based off of the lunar calendar. So you're following the stages of the moon. Okay. Yeah. And that's different than the months that we have.
Yeah.
So it was based off of Passover, sort of. But then this council called the Council of Nicaea, way back when, decided.
Gotta love those guys.
Right. They decided, hey, because we think that, like, you know, Jesus rose again on a Sunday, we want Easter to be on a Sunday. So they made
now it has to be on a Sunday.
Now it has to be on a Sunday. So they're not like, no, it's not a fixed date. It's the Sunday after the full moon that appears first after the spring equinox.
That's so Sunday. Right? Okay, so you got the full moon,
right?
The first full moon of the spring equinox.
Boom. Yes.
And it's the Sunday after that.
Right. So it has to be. So you have to have the spring equinox, whatever that is.
Moon,
then the full moon.
Then it can be Easter.
And then it's Easter. So that's why it changes, and that's why it's annoying.
Yeah, that is. Really
I mean, I get it, because it's kind of like, okay, so if Passover is based off of a lunar calendar, and, you know, Easter was technically after Passover, but here's the thing, because they changed it to a Sunday, now sometimes Passover falls, or Easter falls in front of Passover, because it changes.
That's weird.
So it's annoying, because it's like, well, technically, because Jesus was celebrating Passover when he was almost crucified, then that doesn't make any sense for Easter to fall before Passover. So that kind of drives me insane, in my opinion. I feel like it should just be, okay, whatever Passover is, it's the Sunday after Passover.
Wait, is Passover? Yeah.
So,
but
like,
also, is Passover like, is it, and I should know this, but I don't. Is Passover like the same time each year? Like we know the date of Passover or something? Like, how does that work?
I think it's kind of the... No, it's kind of based off of the same thing, I think, because it's supposed to be... Well, let me see. Is Passover the same?
Is Passover the same time each year?
Same.
Maybe you
I thought it was.
Maybe I'm just dumb. But, like, it seems to me like if it was based off the same thing, then Passover would never fall before Easter.
So Passover is based off of the Hebrew calendar, which is based off of the moon. So, and we don't base our calendar off the moon. So it's not on the same day. But is it for the same day on the Hebrew calendar? Which spans from April 5th to 13th. That was in 2023.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll find out.
Right. It's different every year as well, but it's based off their calendar. So it's probably like more consistent for them.
It's basically the answer is
yes.
Everybody uses different calendars and it gets confusing.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Another thing, this is really random. But one article that I was reading observed that lots of holidays surround them, like, are around, like, the seasonal shifts of the year. So, equinoxes and solstices. Solstices is hard to say. Solstice.
It is hard to say.
Like, there's a winter solstice and a summer solstice. So...
There's a spring and a fall equinox, and then there's a winter and a summer solstice.
Yes. So, lots of holidays are... like surrounded by these. So that's why Christmas is also celebrated December 25th, because it was the winter solstice on the Roman calendar. So even though they think Jesus was not born during that time, that's when they celebrate Christmas, because it was like the winter solstice, even though Jesus was probably not born in December. So if you're ever
wasn't
confused
he
about
like
that,
born in the spring?
Yeah, they think he was born more like in
April.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, like when Easter is instead.
Oops.
Or like May or something like that. But anyway, so that's a little bit behind the scenes of why the heck Easter changes, and it drives me insane because I never know when it is. Although Mother's Day and Father's Day does that too. And I don't know why.
I know. I had to Google when Father's Day was, because I was like, wait a second.
It's always in June, and Mother's Day is always in May. And that's the thing about Easter. Like, sometimes it's in May and sometimes it's in April. And I'm like, why is it in May?
So then we have because then we'll have Mother's Day and April.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, not May, March. I'm dumb.
Yeah.
Sorry. In March.
Wait, Easter's in March?
Yeah, well, because the range is March 22nd through April 25th.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I know. I was like May, and then I was like, wait, that's not right.
That's okay. So I was right. My mom's birthday and Easter will be like a week apart, right? And we have to get together for both of those things. Right. And it's like, whoa.
Because I think this year is the 20th, April 20th.
Yeah, it is.
So 20th, it's one of the later.
It's next Sunday.
Yes. So, wait, what? Really?
Yeah. Well, for us right now, it's in a week.
For you guys, it's already happened.
It's last week.
Sorry, we're late. Anyway, so let's talk about Easter eggs now. Easter eggs.
I like to dye Easter eggs.
I like to dye Easter eggs as well.
Let's really talk about Easter eggs. Who's dyeing Easter eggs in this economy this year? Because it's not going to be us.
I was going to say that. Like, I think eggs are out this year, guys. They might be out.
I saw this thing of this lady like like making your kid put like those like little itty bitty potatoes in
Easter baskets
in Easter dye.
Oh,
instead of eggs.
Did they actually die? Like, did the color take?
Well, yeah, it's a little bit different, but like obviously it's a little more like.
Did they peel it first and then dye it, or did they like peel the skin?
No, they put the skin.
Okay.
In the potato.
Huh.
But
like the little golden ones.
Yeah, I eat those little guys.
I like those little guys.
Yeah. So yeah, there was that. I also saw this person make like peanut butter eggs.
Ooh, I love.
And then they like dyed the peanut butter eggs.
What did they like? Wait. Like, how did they make them? Like, just
like I don't
butter,
think
like,
it's dye. I think they like it's like an icing type of. It's a
they
very
like
thin icing.
And
then they
like they dipped it in like. Oh, you could do that like with the There's like those melting chocolates that are different colors. You could do that.
Yeah.
And, like just like dip it in.
That actually might have been what it was.
Maybe, yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know. It's been a while, but yeah. So there's some ideas for maybe.
Right.
I mean, it's too late, but next year.
Next year, guys. Maybe eggs will be down. Who knows? We don't know.
Maybe. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
About to get some chickens.
Really? You know how we talked about last time planting potatoes? Now we're getting chickens.
Now we're getting chickens.
We're going to get a cow.
Actually, I was supposed to get like 3 chickens last year. I said, Marshall, I want 3 chickens. And then we never got them.
I had a chicken when I was younger. We all had chickens. Like each of us got our own. And mine's name was Wiggly.
Was it Wiggly?
Because he wiggled. Yeah.
Yeah.
His name is Wiggly.
Was it a he or was it a she?
Well, I mean, it must have been a she, but at the time I didn't know that. Now that I'm thinking about that. We didn't really get eggs from them, though. But are there other male chickens besides roosters? Or are roosters only... Like,
that is a good question, you know?
Yeah, like, can you get like a random little chick that's just running around that's a male that looks like the female? You know what I mean? Like, or is rooster like a... Wait, what?
Yes, there are male chickens that are not roosters.
So what do they do? So they're the ones that are...
I don't...
You don't need male chickens though, right? A
adult fertile male chicken.
So you need those if you want them to be chicks.
Yeah, so that's why you didn't get any eggs. You didn't have a rooster.
Maybe none of them were males, or maybe they were all males. I think we got like an egg once.
No, you didn't have a rooster.
Oh, roosters are the only ones that can...
An adult fertile male chicken.
Oh.
A young male chicken is called a cockerel.
A cockerel.
And a castrated male is a capon.
A capon. Who does that to a chicken?
Meaning
okay.
Okay, so a castrated meaning like it's been removed.
It's been so
castrated.
What? Interesting. Okay.
Or maybe I just read that wrong.
Well, we also had eggs that our other they weren't our chickens, but they were like our landlords.
Wait,
and we,
but
like,
do
took
you
care of them.
need a rooster?
That's what I'm saying. You don't need a rooster for them to have eggs. Just if they needed to be like. Wait. How does that work, guys?
No, a rooster is not needed for a hen to lay eggs.
So you don't need the male...
Hens will lay eggs regardless of whether or not a rooster is present. However, a rooster is necessary for producing chicks.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
So maybe you just had infertile
maybe we just had,
chickens.
Yeah. I don't know why they didn't lay... Or maybe because we didn't really have like any place for them to like specifically roost all the time. So they maybe were laying eggs all over the place we didn't know about.
And you didn't know.
I was
about to say, they weren't in a coop.
I don't know why we got chickens.
You just got chickens because you wanted...
We wanted pets.
I don't know why we got those little snow crab thingies, but we got them.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need a chicken or you need a snow crab,
And one of them pinched me and I threw it across the room and it like died a week later.
Oh my gosh, Felina.
It's okay. Mine would live the longest, so it's fine.
You're like, it wasn't mine. Oh my gosh. So, there's a lot, obviously, shrouded in mystery for eggs. When I tell you about, like, the reason why... The things that are shrouded in mysteries are like why eggs are significant. You know, like why did this become a symbol?
Yeah, well, like why do we find eggs with chocolate in them?
Right. So
how did we get there?
Right.
Were Easter egg hunts like literally like hard boiled eggs?
That's a good question, actually. Yes, I will say yes because I'll tell you about it. But
okay, cool. Tell me about it.
In the sense that we think of it as, I don't know if that, like when we started Easter egg hunting, if that was actually eggs, but the reason why is like things were actually eggs to start with.
Like real life eggs.
Like real life eggs.
Gross.
So
could you
can you imagine
seeing it and stepping on it?
Like it wasn't a hard boiled egg, it was just an egg.
Yeah.
So the reason why eggs is because they celebrate spring. Obviously, we know that. The egg has such themes.
New life.
Right, new life, fertility, renewal. Exactly.
Wait, do hens not lay eggs in the winter?
Not as much, I don't think.
Okay.
Well, look it up. Sorry, guys. So this has just become a whole thing.
Welcome to our chicken episode.
Right. Welcome.
We're learning about it as we
Honestly,
go.
this is great. We need to know these things.
We do, especially if we're gonna,
ever have chickens. This is just your prep for when you get a chicken.
They lay fewer eggs or stop laying altogether during the winter months. Okay.
So yes, they're associated with they're giving and if they were having chicks, it'd be giving birth. It'd be life, blah 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 blah,
blah 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 blah,
etc. So eggs are seen technically as a pagan symbol because they were used as like offerings to the gods. Because I guess like you offer it to them because they're your first offer. Like I guess it's like first fruits. Like where they would give fruits and vegetables and they would give things. I don't know.
Here's our first chicks.
Yes, here's our first chicks. Here are the
Have
eggs.
them, take them. Right. They will rot.
Right. So apparently we're going back to the Anglo-Saxons and back to Eostre, our girl.
Eostre.
So they had a festival in honor of her, and they would eat eggs at this festival, and they would also place eggs in the ground. So I guess they would bury them as like a sign of fertility. So I don't know if they thought anything was going to happen with these eggs.
Like, let's bury these eggs and then we'll have babies.
Yeah. Yeah. Or something like that. I don't know if it was to have babies or if it was just to like hope that the spring would bring like food and such like that. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like that kind of thing. Also, in Egyptian, Greek, and Persian cultures, they gave eggs to each other during springtime celebrations. So it was just like the thing to do. And then later it was adopted by Christianity. But we'll talk about that a little later.
Okay.
Now, another thing. I think this was like in medieval times or some, which can be a wide range of things. I don't know. Like I said last time, 900s to 1300s, or it's a long period of time. But
yeah,
they celebrated Lent. So whenever Lent happened. Now, Lent is like the 40 days leading up to Easter.
I found this thing.
Yes.
And I think I told you about it. And our buddy at work.
Our buddy. Oh, yes.
It was like it may have been Catholic, but it was like when you're participating in Lent, the Sundays don't count.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you can do whatever you like, eat whatever you want on Sundays?
Yeah, so like if you give up, let's say you give up Netflix, you can watch Netflix on Sunday. Because it's
but why
40 days, but if you add up the days, then there's like
still 40?
3 or 4 extra days.
Because Easter.
Because you're counting the Sundays, and you're not supposed to count the Sundays.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder if that's true. Y'all look it up.
Yeah.
I'm curious about that. That would be interesting.
Because I just saw it on the Tickety Talk.
It's like
so
a little.
It could be wrong.
It could be completely false. False. So during Lent, they would give up the consumption of eggs because for some reason they weren't allowed to be eaten. And I read somewhere it was because they weren't allowed to be eaten with meat because they were like an animal product. So I don't really know all the rules.
Meat is an animal product.
I know. So I don't know if they can't eat 2 different animal products at once or if they can't eat either. So I was a little confused by that.
I think that the rules were confusing, and I would not have done well because I would have been far too confused.
I'd be like, wait,
I would just perish because I would stop eating because I'd be like, I don't know what I'm allowed to eat.
Right. Now it's a lot different. Like you choose something to give up for Lent. And it's not like you have to abide by all these like things. It's not
like you're forced to give up eggs.
Because I think like other people, like not just Catholics, I think other people participate in Lent just as like a kind of like a reflection and just kind of like giving up something. Mm-hmm. Not only Catholics. I think that because my friend who was... I can't remember. I'm sorry. I can't remember the denomination, but not Catholic would sometimes observe it. So.
Oh yeah. Like.
I've never personally
all the denominations I've been a part of or seen, like been around.
Really?
It's like all of them, like, I mean, they don't take it as seriously.
Right.
It's not like you must observe it, but it's like you can observe it if you want to observe it.
The Baptists don't do that. Maybe some do.
Maybe some.
And the Baptist churches I grew up in, they did not do this. But because during Lent, it's not like their chickens just stopped laying eggs, right? So they would boil the eggs and save them to keep for Easter because Easter is like the end of Lent. So that became like a way of like preserving. Now, I don't know how long boiled eggs are good for, y'all.
Especially when there's no refrigeration.
Right. I don't know if that's a month, but it is medieval times, so they were eating a lot.
Speaking of boiled eggs and their expiration.
Right. Tell me.
Listen. You already know.
Yours.
I told you about it, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yes.
She said, oh yes, I'm throwing you under the bus, Mom.
I'm sorry, Mom.
My mother would make a batch of boiled eggs.
Because once again, boiled eggs on Weight Watchers, free points.
Yeah, because she's also doing Weight Watchers. So, she's the reason we're all doing Weight Watchers. Actually.
Right.
She's like, it's on sale.
Thanks, Mom.
And I was like, cool. But my mother would boil eggs and then just sit them in a bowl on the counter, and all week, like she would boil enough eggs for the week. And then just sit them on the counter and leave them. And I said, Mom,
once they're
those
cooked,
are supposed to be refrigerated.
Yeah.
She goes, no, you guys, every time you guys ate boiled eggs, they were just sitting on the counter.
I said, what?
I said, Mom, that is incorrect. I said, that's not supposed, it's not incorrect in the sense of like, yeah, that is how she did it, but we didn't know. And of course we didn't know any better.
The kids.
But like, I was like, no, Mom, you have to refrigerate it. She goes, it's boiled. And she was like, it's still she said, it's still got the shell on it. There's not going to be any bacteria. I said, no. And then my brother stepped in and was like, no, there's like these little microscopic holes that like bacteria can get into.
Yeah.
And she was like, it is not completely like
sealed.
Bacteria proof. There's little holes.
Have you ever seen like where the chicken is like deficient on, is that the right word? On some sort of like vitamin or something, and like they have like a eggless, or not an eggless, they have like a shell-less egg, and it's like weirdly springy. Like I need to see if I, and also you can, if you have a farm and your chickens lay eggs, if you haven't like washed them or anything, you can leave them out for a while. Yeah. But once you boil them, don't put them in the fridge.
Let this be a PSA. If you are boiling eggs and you're leaving them on your counter, you need to stop doing that.
Yes.
Because there can be bacteria in them. And that's why whenever you boil eggs, I don't know about you, but like whenever you first put eggs, because I just put them in the
and like
gross.
you can push it because it's just like I just showed her the egg. We've had some of them before, like our chickens would lay them.
But like basically I put the egg in the water and then it like comes to a boil eventually.
Right.
I'm not that picky about it. But like bubbles come out of the eggs.
Yeah, you can see it coming out.
You can see
because there's holes.
Because there's holes. So make sure you're refrigerating your eggs, people.
Please do.
Especially after they're boiled. There's a reason that eggs are in the refrigerator section.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah, if you get them from the store and they're already refrigerated, that means they need to go right into the fridge, y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, so also after the sidetrack, also, people possibly held some beliefs or superstitions surrounding eggs, obviously, over the years. Eggs consumed on Good Friday, which is not Black Friday, because I always say,
Black Friday. She said the other day, it's Black Friday. No, ma'am.
No, Good Friday.
Good Friday.
Black Friday is in November.
Yes.
So Good Friday, if you ate eggs on Good Friday, supposedly it would cause fertility and stave off death or sudden death, I guess. So you just wouldn't drop dead. I don't know how long this would last.
Okay, so everybody eat your eggs on Good Friday.
Yes.
So that you don't just randomly die.
Also, if you want fertility. If not, you might want to stay away from eggs on Good Friday.
Well, no, because you need to eat them so that you don't just randomly die.
Well, true. So it's...
it's pick your bigger beast. I don't know.
Yes, and then Good Friday eggs that were laid on Good Friday.
Oh.
If you held on to it for 100 years...
Oh.
Since you will still be alive, they would become diamonds. I don't know who exactly believed this.
Who started that?
I don't know. Maybe this is an absolute lie and they were just fooling with me and I just believed it. But I read this in an article and I was like, what? Good Friday eggs.
Eggs that were laid on Good Friday.
Yes.
100 years later turn into a diamond.
Yes.
Interesting.
But
I feel like they're going to rot.
They would rot. They would stink.
Yeah, like, do you have to put it in the fridge?
Maybe you put it in,
If you put it in the fridge, does
freezers.
that, but like if you put it in the fridge or the freezer, does that like make it go longer? Like it's like,
maybe.
Now it's going to take way longer.
Yeah. Eggs laid on Good Friday.
Eggs and Good Friday.
Turn into diamonds if they were kept for 100. Yeah, I looked it up again. Sorry. I just was curious. Yeah. And then if you had a double yolker, I don't know if any of you have experienced that.
Double yolkers are crazy.
Yeah, I know. I'm always like, I get two of the best part of the egg. Like, in my opinion, when people don't eat the yolk, I get concerned. But lots of people think the yolk is disgusting. So it makes me sad.
I get it.
Yeah.
It's like a gusher. Yeah. It just gushes out.
Well, see, I don't like gushers.
I see. So you should get it.
But I love the yolk of the egg. It's the good part. Anyways, if you got a double yolker, it was a sign that you would become wealthy. It hasn't happened to me yet, and I've gotten a double yolker. I would just like to say.
I don't think I personally have ever gotten a double yolker.
What, really?
Like when I crack the egg.
It's more common when you have chickens. Well, and now, yeah, it's more common when you have chickens for them to lay a double yolker for some reason than getting it at the grocery store. I don't know why. At least that's just my observation. I don't know if that's a fact, but in my observation, we've gotten more from like when we had
farm
chickens.
fresh eggs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And farm fresh eggs. Ooh, there's nothing like them. Have you ever had farm fresh eggs?
I have.
Okay. There's so much. Well, you're not an egg person in general.
Not.
You've become more of an egg person.
I have to.
You have to. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
There was also beliefs that if you put them under buildings, it would protect you from evil. I don't know why. And then brides would also crush an egg with their foot before going into like their new home. So I guess that was like a good luck thing, like as before they
I've seen. Is it that kind of like smashing the bottle?
Yeah, I guess so. It's like
on the altar.
Yeah, something like that. Or like I know that in Jewish weddings, don't they step on the glass?
Yeah,
when they get married.
Like
yeah. So I guess
or they throw a plate or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
There's all sorts of different traditions where you smash something, which we didn't do that at our wedding. I want to smash something.
We should have smashed something.
Yeah, that would have been fun. Wedding. Also, people could give you an egg to bless you with the future of many children. Someone offers me an egg and I'm like, I'm good. I'm good, y'all.
I'm all right.
I'm already 30. I don't need many children.
Many children.
Many children.
How many is many?
Oh, I don't know. Probably in that time it's like 10, right? I don't know. I'm not sure because these are superstitions from probably, I didn't get an exact date for that.
Ago.
But probably medieval times because some of it was from medieval times and then like the 1600s later on.
Yeah.
Egg dyeing now goes back, and I don't know if this is like originally an Easter tradition, but there was like evidence of egg dyeing apparently in like Africa and in Sumer, I think it's called, in Mesopotamia, which if you know, Mesopotamia was like that ancient culture between the two rivers, where they would like put gold and silver eggs in the ground. So again, it was like lots of burying of eggs, probably.
Yeah.
And then some early Christian traditions, they would dye the eggs red. And do you know why?
For the blood of Jesus Christ.
Yep, exactly. Which
that was a guess.
No, it was. I mean,
it was educated.
It made sense. Also, like though, I have not seen people. Usually, they're pastels now, right? Like people do lighter colors. I haven't seen someone dye an egg red. Have you?
Well, there's red the dye.
Oh, I guess so.
In like the dye.
It usually looks pink though.
But it's more of a pinky red.
It's more of a pinky red. But I was like, oh, interesting. And I think I didn't write this down, but they would get like yellow dye from onions. And they would get like the red dye from like something called a madder root. So they were just, I guess,
at a madder root.
A madder root. I was like, I don't know what that is.
What's a madder root?
I don't know.
I don't know. What's a madder root? You.
Stop. Moving on. That's funny. That was a good one.
I was genuinely asking what's a madder root, and then I was like,
what's the matter with you? Oh my gosh. We're on one today. I'm sorry, guys. And like I said, apparently it was very popular in the Middle Ages, and they would dye Easter eggs. So it said Easter eggs, so I don't know if this was just around Easter.
Okay.
Or if it was actually just like dyed eggs. But they would, in England in the 1200s, mind you, give it to their landlords. But like the tenants would give it to their landlords as like gifts. And I don't know why, because I'm like, were eggs, like I guess maybe were the royal people not like having chickens? Or like did the tenants give all the eggs to the lord and that's how they got the eggs?
Probably gave all the eggs.
Probably.
Well, no, they probably had chickens.
You would think. But yeah, why was it a gift? That's what I want to figure out. I guess because they were more...
They said feast on some eggs.
Feast on the eggs.
Feast on baby
Well,
chicken
I did read that they would also sometimes... I think it was like during the Lent thing, they would give eggs to the poor people. So maybe because they didn't have chickens or something like that.
Okay.
Because usually you would think, oh, poor people just like they have chickens. But apparently in that time, they did not.
Yeah, because how are you going to afford to feed the chickens?
Yeah.
So
I guess so. Yeah. Well, but chickens can scavenge. Is that the right word?
Can they scavenge though?
Yeah, they get like worms and bugs and they eat all that.
I don't want an egg laid by a worm chicken.
I can tell you right now that if you got any free-ranging eggs, them chickens be eating bugs. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't want worm chicken.
You're eating beetle dye. in your M&Ms, Felina?
I'm not eating M&Ms, Hannah.
Currently.
I don't eat those anymore.
That's because we're on Weight Watchers. Okay, sorry, we need to move on. In the year 1290, King Edward I.
Oh, hello, Edmund. Edward.
Edmund.
Well, hello, Edward. Good old Eddie boy.
He gave to his royal household 450 eggs decorated with gold leaf.
Dang.
450 eggs covered in gold leaf.
He's got bank.
Yes, he does.
In this economy? I don't think so.
In 1290?
Oh, no.
Yes. And so in the in the 1800s and 1900s was when Easter or like Easter egg things became geared more toward children.
Go hunt and find these eggs so you can shut up and give us peace.
Right. Well, also, apparently before this time period, kids were seen as like lesser. They were seen as like, you know, they were along with like in the group of the apprentices and servants because these were all like younger people in general. So they didn't really honor children in the same way as like yes, you were to have lots of children because you wanted them to become adults.
They always forget about the kids.
They do. So
the children's.
Eventually they were like, you know what, kids should have fun and they shouldn't just be thinking about like growing up. So they made like Easter a more like family oriented thing. Okay. So as far as and that was like as far as like dyeing Easter eggs, you know what I mean? It became geared toward kids. And then President Rutherford B. Hayes established the first
President who?
Rutherford B. Hayes. Do you know that one?
Of America?
Of America.
Isn't it Rutherford?
Rutherford? Is it? Oh, I mean, it's Rutherford. Rutherford.
Sorry, not to call you out.
I always read it. Never heard it said.
I was like, isn't it Rutherford?
I don't know, man. It looks like Rutherford.
Rutherford.
I'm sorry, guys.
Rutherford.
Sorry, Hayes.
Maybe.
No, you're probably right. You're probably right.
I have always heard it said Rutherford.
Then it is.
But I'm also from Kentucky, so.
Well, I read it when my curriculum was reading because I was homeschooled, so I make up pronunciations in my head.
I make pronunciations out loud.
Rutherford. Yes, it's probably Rutherford.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he established the first Easter egg roll at the White House in 1878. And
egg roll?
It's not an egg roll.
You got my hopes up.
I know.
I want an Easter egg roll.
Apparently, people do this thing where they like hard boil dyed eggs. Okay. And they roll it.
Well, that's
and
how you dye an egg.
I realized, as I said, I don't think it's just sometimes it's just hard boiled eggs, and sometimes they actually dye them too.
Okay.
But they will roll them. I guess they do it at the White House, and whoever's like goes the furthest without breaking at all wins.
What do they win?
That's definitely not going to be happening this year because apparently I think it happens every year at the White House or something. Or like the president.
They still do it?
I look it up because I thought I saw
the egg roll.
Easter egg roll of the White House.
White House
Easter egg roll. It's not a delicious egg roll from a Chinese restaurant.
Easter egg roll 2025.
Yeah, it's happening.
Monday, April 21st.
You're telling me that they're
the day after Easter.
Eggs. They're rolling eggs in this economy.
Egg roll will be held on Monday. The tickets are free and are obtained through an online lottery on recreation.gov.
Okay, guys.
The lottery application period was from Tuesday, March 4th at 12 p.m. to Monday, March 10th at 12 p.m.
Oh, we missed it.
So if you wanted to attend the 2025 Easter egg
and waste eggs,
you cannot. However, keep this in mind for next year around March.
Yeah, apparently.
Recreation.gov.
Yeah. If you want to go to this thing. I am shocked that it's still going on. I had to be honest with you
about this.
I didn't either. I didn't either. Are there like rules for this competition, or is it just like if it breaks? Like how much can it break? Like any sort of small crack in my shell, I lose?
I don't know.
Or does it have to like come apart?
Because I feel like well, I guess it cracks.
It cracks. Just hard boil that thing for like 20 minutes. Just make it strong.
Families must include at least one child aged 13 and under.
Oh, we are disqualified anyway.
With the maximum of 2 adults per application.
Oh.
Each household is limited to 1 application for a minimum of 6 tickets.
Wow.
But like, what are the rules?
I have no idea. What are the rules of the Easter egg roll? We don't know. We don't know, guys.
I don't know. Anyways.
We'll figure it out.
Anyways.
We'll look it up because we have a little while We have a little bit more left. Okay, so bunnies. Why bunnies? I'm going to tell you a little bit first about why bunnies may be significant. Okay, like why the heck bunnies? So this isn't like necessarily like, oh, this is an Easter tradition. This is like, oh, this is how rabbits were seen throughout the years and maybe why they chose the bunny as a symbol. Okay.
Okay.
So there have been hares, which we're going to say hares because if you guys don't know, Hare is a type of
the tortoise and the hare.
Yes.
Not HAIR.
It's bigger than like a bunny. It has like bigger hind legs, longer ears, that sort of thing. It's more like, it's less domesticated. Apparently they like live by themselves.
It's like the Australian bunny rabbit.
Yeah, but you can like find them in England and things like that. But like they live by themselves apparently, and like bunnies usually like live in like little groups and things.
They're recluse.
Yes, they're recluse. So they're bigger. So think of it that when I say the hare, that's what we're talking about. Apparently they have found them in graves back to the Neolithic period, and that's like BC.
That's a big
BC.
word for Elmo.
So that's
what
like
does Neolithic mean?
It's like caveman times, I think, or like the Iron Age. Like it's.
Oh no.
It's like really far back. Let me look it up again real quick. But anyways, apparently they have found hares buried with humans since the Neolithic period.
What are they keeping them as pets?
So I don't know. I think they saw them as religiously significant, which I don't know why.
The bunny rabbit is actually a hare?
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
It's a hare. Well, I mean,
even though a hare is brown and a bunny is white.
Well, bunnies can be brown too.
Bunnies can be brown too. Right?
Yeah, and rabbits. So the hare can be, I think, white too.
Can it?
I think so. We'll have to look that up too. My goodness, we're just doing a Google search.
We should do. Well, let us know if you want us to do a podcast episode where we just have topics.
Pick one topic and then we look up,
and then we just get on a tangent and we go
and we Google it.
And we just go with it.
Yeah, that sounds pretty fun to me. The period of the Neolithic period is 10,000 BC to 2,200 BC. So
that means
before
nothing
Christ.
To me.
Before Christ.
Well, I know that, but like, what does the world look like at this point?
A new Stone Age.
Okay, a stone.
So they were burying them in the graves, maybe thought as like a sign of rebirth. You know, like reincarnation. Okay. Or I don't even know if reincarnation, but yeah, like your next life or whatever.
Yeah.
And it happened in Europe too. So like during the Neolithic period in Europe. Now the bunny is also seen as a symbol, as we know, of fertility in springtime. Okay,
of course.
And it was also
they have like 8 kids.
Yeah, no, they. I'm going to talk about it in a second. About
have you heard multiplying kids? Like bunnies?
Yes,
that's why.
This is why. And Eastre, as we talked about before, how do we say her name? Easter. She was also linked. Possibly.
Sorry, it sounds like we're saying Esther in a weird
It does. Is it Easter? It's like when we said Kevin. It was like Kevin. Yeah.
Yes.
Easter. She was also linked to the symbol of the hare. And she was... Some people think she wasn't the goddess of spring, by the way. They think she was the goddess of the dawn. Blah, 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 blah.
Scandal.
I know. So there is some debate about that. But apparently she was like linked to the symbol of the hare. And then there were other Norse goddesses and such that were associated with the hare and eggs. You know, it's just like a spring life thing. Anyway, let's move on. There's something called... Now, this is just why, once again, why bunnies are significant in the grand course of things. Because I didn't know that bunnies were so... like religiously important. I would not think that, if you know what I mean.
Never would have said a bunny is a religious figure.
No, not at all. But because they represent fertility, I guess in ancient cultures that would make sense. But there's something called the 3 hair symbol that I want to share with you because it's pretty interesting. No, these are not good. I want to look up a picture for you, but I need to find the one that actually like looks like it.
She is ill prepared, is what she's. I'm
always ill prepared. Okay. So apparently it dates back to the 6th century China. So we're talking about 500s. Okay. There's paintings located in something called the Dunhuang caves. I cannot speak Chinese. And sorry if I pronounce that wrong. But it's like a holy site for them. And they have like paintings all over it. And essentially the symbol is of 3 hares chasing each other. Okay. In a circle, and their ears are like meeting, and I'm going to show you in a second. But it creates an illusion where it looks like each bunny has 1 ear, but then when you look at them individually, they have 2 ears. So I'm going to show that to you. Let's see if you can see that.
Oh crap! My little string.
She's messing with a string. So see how they each look like they have. There's only 3 ears in total.
Yeah.
But they each have 2 ears.
Well, depending on how you look at
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Because it's like an optical illusion. If you single one out, it has 2 ears. But then when you look at the whole picture, there's 3.
There's only 3 ears.
So it's kind of thought that this is once again kind of like a symbol for like the circle regeneration of life sort of thing. Okay. And it's in all these paintings, so it's seen as religiously significant. But this spread all over the place. It's in medieval United Kingdom churches. It's in Syria, Egypt, Pakistan. I don't know if I said that correctly. But it's apparently this symbol comes from a Buddhist story of the Buddha, where one of his incarnations is a rabbit or hare. And he finds this priest that is apparently starving. And the Buddha...
Starving? Okay. I was like, what?
The Buddha... Sorry, she's like bored. She's like messing with her...
I'm not bored. I'm trying to concentrate and not interrupt.
Right. So
I have to have a fidget.
She's like, I have to have a fidget or else I'm going to interrupt. I want you to interrupt.
Okay, but still.
Right. So he apparently incarnated as a rabbit or hare.
Yeah.
Finds this starving monk and he self-sacrificially jumps into the fire and for the priest to eat.
He slips and slides himself.
He slips and slides himself into that fire so the priest can eat it.
Oh.
Yeah, which I think is kind of... I feel like, but he's a person, but like in that
he was a rabbit.
he was in one of his lives.
What do you have to do
to become a rabbit?
How is that bad or is that good?
He probably started lower and then became a hare, and then maybe like he became like a better animal.
So does everybody just start as a rat or a spider?
Probably. I don't know. Or do we start as humans and then go back?
That's what I'm saying.
Or is a human like one of your... No, like a human has to be like your...
main thing, right?
Yeah, well... No, maybe you've already reincarnated.
Or maybe that's why certain people have golden retriever energy.
Ah,
certain people
because they were...
energy. Because their last life, they were...
A cat.
Or a dog.
I think that I was probably like a chinchilla in my past life.
What a very specific...
I just saw a chinchilla recently, so I guess... It's just in my mind.
I feel like I was a cat in my past life because I'm so jealous of our cat just getting to lay in the sun all day, every day. I'm like, I want that.
I was definitely something that was anxious. Are chinchillas anxious?
I don't know. I know it's anxious. German Shepherds.
Yeah, I was a German Shepherd. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I have 2 German Shepherds.
Maybe.
Anyway.
And you said my people.
Right? So apparently also because Buddha put himself in the fire and gave himself to be a meal for this priest, which scares me. I just can't imagine doing that. He was honored by the shape of a hare being imprinted on the moon. I don't see it.
Yes.
So I am going to show you, I guess, the moon. Of course, I can't find it now. Moon rabbit.
What is a moon rabbit?
What is a moon rabbit?
But your name called it.
Does it show it?
Everybody, please welcome to the stage, Moon Rabbit.
Anyway, there's supposedly...
Sorry, I got distracted.
No, you're fine. There's supposedly... People think that there looks like there's a hare on the moon, and I don't
see how that's
possible. See it. I don't see it.
Actually, I think I've seen this before.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't... See if you can find it. I can't find it.
Yeah. I think I've seen it before. Okay, so here's the moon, right? Okay.
Right. Okay.
And then here's the ears.
Here's the
ears. And then here's the bushy tail. And then the foot. And then the head.
Okay, I kind of see it in that picture. But when I saw it, like someone had like, it was like this way. And they like outlined it. But it didn't look like that to me.
Oh, like that? Yeah, no, that's not. Well, I guess
what?
I can see that.
That one's like leaning down.
But
what is he doing?
Here's what I saw as like that. Like that.
Oh yeah, that one looks more like it. What just happened?
I don't know. Bunny rabbit on the moon is what it said.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Okay, so
sorry.
No.
I was like, no, I think I've seen this, and I think I did see the outline of it, actually.
That one looked more like it than the one that was like leaning over like that. That looked weird.
Yeah, that one was weird.
Anyway, Aristotle observed how fast bunnies reproduced, okay?
It's quick.
And yes, it's fast. And this guy named Pliny the Elder, who I think was maybe around not the same time period of Aristotle, but he's like one of the authors, the early authors who wrote down things that people were like, oh, Pliny the Elder wrote this. But he thought that both male and female rabbits had babies because how fast they reproduced. Oh. So that was...
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
That would be wild.
It would be absolutely crazy. Another guy and possibly Aristotle. I saw Aristotle thought this at one point, but I don't know if it was actually him. But it was another Roman author named Aelian. I don't think that's actually how you say it, but it looks like alien in a fancy way. Aileen, maybe.
Alien.
But he thought that rabbits could essentially get pregnant while they were already pregnant. Apparently, this can happen.
Can't they?
Yes.
I was about to say, can't they actually?
Yes, they actually can. And some even thought that they could get pregnant without doing the deed.
Asexual reproduction.
Yeah, literally, they thought they were like, which they can. I'm pretty sure they obviously have sex to have the babies, but I don't think that they can get pregnant actually while they're already pregnant. That's scientifically
they can't.
proven.
They can.
Which is why they represent fertility in all these cultures. Like the Greek goddess of love, Aphrodite, she considered the hair to be sacred, and her son Eros apparently can often be seen like depicted with holding a rabbit in his hands. So
interesting.
Which signifies desire, apparently.
What? Okay.
Yeah. Because in the Renaissance time, as well as medieval, bunnies had dual representation, okay? They sometimes represented sexuality and other times purity. Because...
Whoa.
Right. Because, one, they had so many babies, so they're so fertile, so they represent, like, lust and, like, going crazy. And then, however... if they can have babies without having sex, they actually represent purity. So sometimes they would paint the Virgin Mary with a white rabbit.
With a rabbit.
Yeah. Because it was seen as like she didn't give in to sexual temptation and she was pure and all that, etc.
Except that she was married and had children afterwards.
Right.
So it's fine.
That wouldn't be temptation, I guess. That would be just you're married. Well, some people believe that she remained a virgin. Also, one last little fun thing. Before we wrap up bunny.
Before we wrap this up.
Well, no, I had some other stuff, but we can totally end it.
No, I mean like, okay.
Well, we wrap up the bunny. Wrap up the bunny. In Europe, it was believed that witches could shapeshift.
Not a witch.
Yes, a witch. Could shapeshift into rabbits. And so eating rabbits at Easter was thought to like ward off witches because they wouldn't want to turn into rabbits because people were eating rabbits. So...
weird.
In England, they hold something called the hare pie scramble. Okay?
I've heard of this.
You've heard of this?
I've heard of this.
In Leicestershire, England, where they would like, I don't know how it works, but they like scramble, I guess, a race to like get the piece of pie that's made out of hare pie.
Yeah.
And apparently, that sounds, I don't understand it.
Hare pie sounds disgusting. Can we just talk about that? If you've eaten that, I don't trust you.
Let us know. Maybe it's good. I think it sounds disgusting. I don't like the idea. I mean, I know people eat rabbits.
Rabbit pie. Meat in a pie.
Well, meat pies are actually good.
Ew.
You're not thinking they're delicious. Like meat pies from like medieval times. Like if you just do like beef and put it in like a pastry shell, because it's not sweet. It's good. It's just savory.
See, when I think pie, I think
pie. You're thinking of sweet. Yeah, it's not. But hare pie sounds disgusting to me.
Yeah. Have you ever eaten hare?
No. I don't know if I've ever had rabbit.
That's just a weird sentence. It's just,
have you ever eaten hare? I know, because that's why it sounds like you're eating hare, which is disgusting.
So maybe you like hare.
Maybe I do. Apparently this tradition, though, during the time, was frowned upon by one clergyman that lived there in 1790. And he
always one.
Yes, he wanted to get rid of it because he believed that it represented like pagan beliefs in like the rabbit, I guess. But apparently the people didn't listen, and I think it still goes on today. I have no idea what that looks like.
I think it does.
But...
because I think that's how I heard about it.
Right. We've Googled so much that we probably will...
we're not going to Google that one.
We're not going to Google.
You know what? You can Google it, and then you can let us know.
Let us know.
Yeah.
So in Europe, obviously known as the Easter hare, not the Easter bunny. And the Easter bunny originated in the 1600s from German, actually, people and German immigrants in America. So they brought the Easter hare over. Okay?
So Germany brought the Easter bunny.
Yes. And we apparently like called it like the Easter rabbit because that's kind of what we had, the more domesticated rabbit over here.
Yeah, because we didn't have a lot of hares.
And so this is kind of the first time when it's seen like the Easter bunny gives eggs to children. That's kind of like where the tradition comes from. Like they brought it over here, and it's apparently kind of like a Santa Claus thing, almost like the Easter bunny gives like eggs to good children. That sort of thing. Yeah. And I read somewhere where like even German children would like leave their like hats and stockings out for the Easter bunny to put things in instead of like baskets.
Interesting.
However,
speaking of the Easter Bunny,
yes.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Did you cry at the Easter Bunny when you were a kid? Yes or no?
Cry?
Yeah. Did the Easter Bunny scare you?
Oh, in like in when it's in a costume, like it's a person. Yes.
Yeah.
I was very scared of. I never got like pictures with the Easter Bunny or Santa Claus. Like we didn't do that crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
we got pictures with the Easter Bunny because.
And you cried?
I don't think I cried. I know that Jordan cried.
It's scary.
But I mean, he was scary. It was freaky.
Yeah.
It was weird. This
I don't like it.
Easter Bunny. Let us know. That's my question. Did the Easter Bunny terrify you?
I was scared of people in like mascot costumes, like in the mall and stuff, because I don't know why. It just freaked me out.
Because you don't know who they are.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a creeper in there. Yeah. I'm a kid. What if they kidnap me?
Hello, stranger danger.
Right? And it's also from this tradition where German immigrants brought the stories of the hair giving, like the brightly colored eggs, to good kids.
Yeah.
And kids would even leave out carrots for the rabbit. So kind of like you do with Santa Claus. Like you do with
milk and cookies.
Yes. So that's kind of like where the Easter Bunny like became the Easter Bunny.
Became.
Yes. Now, real quick, I'm going to close up with a little bit about candy real fast because we have to talk about candy. Yeah. Apparently, I read somewhere too like that Easter is like the second biggest holiday for candy after Halloween, which makes sense. I mean, everyone gets the Easter bunnies and eggs and such.
Not only that, but everybody's also filling Easter eggs with candy.
Right, exactly. So it's like it's like an activity, just like trick-or-treating is.
Yeah.
But why possibly candy became so popular during Easter is because what we talked about before is that during Lent, they would give up sweeter foods. So Easter was like
Easter
the end.
Was like, ooh, we can eat candy.
Right. It was like the end of their like giving up a sweet. So they'd be like, yeah, we can eat Easter candy.
Yeah.
Now, the Easter egg, apparently, in the form of like an edible egg, began with German immigrants who made it out of pastry and sugar. So I don't know exactly what that looked like. It doesn't sound quite as delicious as a chocolate egg. But apparently this is the first time it was like made in like an edible form besides just being an egg. You know what I mean?
But when was it?
Probably like in the 1600s.
Well,
so that's probably why.
1600s,
it's delicious.
It's gourmet.
It was either 1600s, 1700s. Now, solid chocolate Easter eggs go back to Germany in the 1800s and France as well. So they were the first ones, Germany and France, to invent the solid Easter egg.
German chocolate.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's delicious, I'm sure.
Get you with that one.
Listen, anytime there's like, I'm trying to remember which country it is. Belgian chocolate.
Ooh, Belgian chocolate. Yeah. I've not had it.
You can just eat milk chocolate.
Listen, I've not had it. Oh my gosh. I've not had Belgian chocolate. But it's like trending on TikTok right now. And I've been seeing it all over the place. And it looks divine.
Delicious.
I need to sink my teeth into that.
I can just have like straight up milk chocolate. It's like that good. Because I don't just like eat milk chocolate. Like that's plain. Like that to me just is not. Like Hershey's milk chocolate.
She's too good for milk chocolate.
I'm too good for that stuff. If it's from a different country, you got me there. It's delicious.
That's incredible.
Well, I like things in the chocolate.
She doesn't like white chocolate. Do you like white chocolate? Yes or no?
Do you like white chocolate?
I do like white chocolate.
Like just eating white chocolate? Now here's the thing. I get white mocha all the time in my coffee.
I will eat. Well, nothing's ever plain white chocolate.
It's disgusting.
Like nothing's ever, like the Hershey's like cookies and cream bar.
Oh, that's delicious. I love that. Okay,
that's white chocolate, Hannah.
Yes, but it's got the cookies in it.
But that's white chocolate, Hannah.
But have you tried just straight up white chocolate?
Yes.
Okay, well, it's disgusting.
It's not chocolate, but it's not disgusting.
No, it's not good. It's just literally
it's
sugar.
Not my favorite chocolate. Yeah, no. I'll say that, but like
There's like no cocoa bean in that thing. It's just like sugar. Okay, so mostly over the years, chocolate had been enjoyed as a drink, okay? And in 1847 was when J.S. Fry and Sons, I think from England, invented the original solid chocolate bar, okay? And then they went on to create... Now, Germany and France had already made a chocolate Easter egg. However, J.S. Fry and Sons, as I understood it, invented the first hollow chocolate Easter egg in 1873.
Okay, so we want to punch them in the face.
You don't like this. You like the solid ones.
If I'm going to get a chocolate egg, I want it to be a chocolate egg. I don't want it to be chocolate and air.
Right. Yeah.
So they're not my friend.
They're not your friend.
They're not my friend.
Now, there's also debate, which I do not understand, because I feel like there's a right answer here. There's a debate on how to eat a chocolate Easter bunny on the internet. So apparently...
You're first.
78% people say the ears first. And I 100% agree with this. Why would you eat it any other way? But some people apparently eat the feet first or the tail first.
No, it goes ears.
Yes.
And then
she has a specific order.
Yeah. You got to do ears, and then it's literally ears then head.
Yeah.
And then like the little bow tie.
Then you go around it.
Well, because whenever we have the chocolate Easter bunny, we weren't allowed to eat it all in one sitting, obviously, because
because they're huge.
Yeah. So we're allowed to eat the ears, and then we're allowed to eat the head. The eggs.
Which part is that?
Exactly. And then we're allowed to eat the like bow tie, and then a little bit further. And usually Easter bunnies have like little squiggly marks on them and like little circles, and like they have designs on their like fronts.
I will say that I would rather eat a hollow Easter bunny than like a solid one because they're so thick.
I would not rather eat a hollow Easter bunny. I would rather eat, instead of just solid chocolate, a filled Easter bunny.
Yeah, okay. Well, I never had like a filled.
Like I had the caramel.
Oh,
the caramel.
Is there a
bunny?
Peanut butter one?
There's a peanut butter one.
Oh, that would be my favorite.
That's good. It's
Guys,
delicious.
that would be so good.
But yeah, so then you would like eat a little bit at a time, and then you like eat the arm, and then you eat the other arm, and then you eat the tail, and then you get down to the feet, and you just.
Yeah. But there's like a debate online. I'm like, why is this a debate? I thought it was always the ears.
You always eat the
Who eat the feet first?
The people who aren't sadistic, I guess.
I guess they just don't care.
They're like, no, I can't eat the head first.
I guess it's like biting into a Kit Kat, which I have done before. I usually, it will break it up. Like, you know, you're supposed to break it apart. Sometimes I just bit into it without breaking it apart.
Both of them? You eat both of them at the same time?
Yeah.
Hannah.
But I don't anymore. I used to.
She's in recovery.
I'm in recovery from that, okay? I didn't know. I was just like, and bit it.
Hannah.
I'm sorry.
Okay, the nutty bars.
I peeled them apart.
Yeah.
You got it.
So why would...
I don't know.
Okay.
I was a crazy kid, okay?
She's psychopath.
I am. All right. Well, not really, but...
Not actually.
So, the biggest Easter egg hunt ever held was in Florida. And do you want to guess how many eggs they hid?
Okay, wait. I'm going to need to know, like...
Oh, I don't remember what year it was if you're about to ask me that.
No, I'm going to need to know, is it like the million or is it the 1,000 range? Because that's going to affect my answer.
Say again.
Is it the million or the 1,000 range?
Thousands.
Okay. I think it was like 700,000.
Wow. Okay. It was actually 500,000. Okay. I thought you would be like blown away by the 500,000. But
no, because Florida's crazy.
That's true. That's true. But that's a big Easter egg hunt.
That is a big Easter egg hunt. But also, like, my granny for our family hides like hundreds of Easter eggs.
Really?
Yeah. So that's what I was like.
We didn't do
If it's
many.
in the thousands, it's in like the mid to upper thousands. If it's in the millions, it's in the lower millions. Like I was like, I just need that one thing.
Dang. All right. Well, this is my last little fact. The largest chocolate Easter egg ever made. How many pounds do you think it was? According to Guinness Book of World Records. Apparently, there's like some contention about this.
The largest.
But according to Guinness, yes, the largest Easter egg. Chocolate Easter egg. How many pounds do you think it weighed?
Is it in the hundreds?
No.
Okay. Is it higher than the hundreds?
Yes.
Oh. It's in the thousands? 12,000.
16,000 pounds.
Holy cow.
34 feet tall. And I think it was like 64 feet wide at its like biggest point. It was in Italy that they made this. And it was like...
That's honestly, like, did like all of Italy eat it together?
I don't know. It was like
how did they like chop it up and sell it? Like,
which is so funny because literally last night we watched the episode of Bones that they make the giant chocolate bar and there's like the dead body in it.
Oh,
do you remember that?
Yes, I do. It's been a while since I watched that episode.
Yeah, we literally just watched it. I was like, that's kind of funny because I was literally just researching about like the biggest chocolate Easter egg.
Would you remember that Easter bunny at work?
Oh yes. How tall was it?
It was
3 feet?
It was
3
like,
feet?
It was like 3 feet. And I was like, that is a huge Easter bunny. So I'm just trying to imagine one that weighs 1,600 pounds.
16,000.
Holy crap. That's like...
Yeah, it's like in a mall or something. Shopping center.
A 3-story building.
Yep. Look it up, guys.
Not actually.
But
probably
it's
2 stories.
It's pretty big. 5 of the most exceptional Easter egg world records. That's what it says.
That's crazy.
This one I think was hollow. What is that? This one doesn't look real.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Talk.
So there are other like Easter. I think there's like bigger Easter eggs, like statues or whatever, but like chocolate. Like,
sorry.
No, I was trying to think of what I was trying to say. Like, and also, So that's what I have for you. I don't know how you guys celebrated Easter.
Hope you guys had a wonderful Easter.
Yeah.
Hope you're eating your bunny head first.
Yeah. And here's the thing is we can't even have Easter candy.
Well, we can have Easter candy.
No, we cannot.
We can only have it in moderation.
But it's so many chocolates, so many points, guys.
Well, there's other Easter candies other than just chocolate.
Yeah.
Other chocolate. Were you scared of... I have questions for all of you.
Yes.
Were you scared of the Easter bunny?
Yes.
How do you eat chocolate Easter bunnies?
Yours first.
In what order? There was another one.
Was it about Easter egg hunts?
No.
How you dyed your Easter eggs?
No.
No.
Okay, so those are my 2 questions for now. And you can tell us, you can reach out to us on Facebook or Instagram under Lattes on My Mind. You can reach out to us on lattespodcast@gmail.com, or you can visit our website, lattespodcast.com. Or if you don't want to do any of those things and you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Audible, or YouTube, you can just comment on any of our posts.
Yeah.
And we'll get it.
Ask us a question.
Yeah.
Tell us what your favorite Easter candy is.
Yeah. What's your favorite Easter candy?
Maybe it's jelly beans. Maybe it's Peeps.
Do you celebrate Lent? Do you not celebrate Lent?
Do you even celebrate Easter at all?
Do you...
It's okay if you don't.
Give a crap about it. If
Yeah.
you don't, all right.
Yeah.
Tell us why not.
Yeah.
Or not. Or you don't have to justify yourself either.
My favorite Easter memory is that my mom got us Mario Double Dash Kart.
What?
Yeah, 1 year, a GameCube game for Easter.
We would get an Easter basket with my mom always put jelly beans in there, and we all 3 of us looked at her and said, "Mom, stop putting jelly beans."
Okay, but it depends what kind of jelly beans, because I love the Starburst jelly beans.
No.
Have you had the Starburst jelly beans?
I've had the Starburst jelly beans. I don't.
She needs to have them again because
I don't like jelly beans.
You're getting
I'm not
older.
a jelly bean girly.
See, but you have like butter popcorn jelly bean in your head. I feel like
No, I have like the pink, the pink one and the grape one, and I'm like, I just don't like. I don't like the consistency of a jelly bean. The consistency of the jelly bean can rot.
You can rot.
Okay.
Happy Easter.